Hi everyone and welcome back to Chef Seats. Today we're going to be preparing a salmon citrus ceviche, which is delicious and refreshing for, of course, those hot summer nights. You know we like to cook in season. And who isn't a fan of ceviche? So, once again, all we're going to need are a few simple ingredients. So let's get started. I like to start by preparing all my vegetables first, and then seafood later, primarily for sanitation purposes. Here we have some young red radishes, and we're just going to slice them nice and thin on our mandolin. You may need to adjust the thickness a few times to get the proper size. See, a little too thin, so a little thicker. And just be very cautious when you're using this machine. It can be very dangerous, so don't try to chance it. There you go, that's enough. Get rid of that. Now we can move on to our tomatoes. Just a nice small dice. Start by halving them and then quartering our tomatoes. Now we're just going to roll it to the side and cut out the guts. These guts are really flavorful and actually one of my favorite parts, but you can reserve them for any other dish or just for a little snack to nibble on. Toss a little salt on it and you're good to go. So after I cut the petals out of my tomatoes, we're just going to turn them to the side and start slicing them. When you cut your tomatoes, cut flesh side up. It's going to make it a lot easier. If you try to cut through the skin first, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So this will just be a little trick that'll help you out. So again, cutting through the meat side first, and then spinning it around to create a dice. Avoid cutting the skin side first, and it's just going to be a lot tougher to cut through. There you go, just chop away. Your cuts don't have to be perfect, it's okay. Next we're going to move on to our jalapeno. Cutting the top of the stem off, halving it, and then we're going to remove the seeds. The seeds are going to have a lot of spice in them, so if you want yours to be spicier, feel free, save that, and you could just avoid this entire step. So removing the seeds a little bit more. Use my fingers to flatten out the chili, and just a little bit more of this water skin. I'm looking for more of the flavor opposed to the heat. And the same technique as cutting the tomatoes, meat side up, slice it, and then just dice. Remember everybody, wash your hands after using the chilies. Anything that you're going to touch after that may burn very badly, so wash your hands very well. There you go, nice little dice. Set that aside. Now after our hands are washed and the cutting board's clean and sanitized, let's work on our avocado. Just gently shove the knife into the center of it until it reaches the seed. Cut all the way around and spin it. There we are. Now just pick up our knife and gently stab it into the seed. This could be a very dangerous step, so use a lot of caution when doing so. Now I just like to cut mine into nice little bite-sized pieces, so I'm just going to cut our avocado in half and then half again. So these will be eighths wedges. There we are. Now just simply run your knife on the bottom of it, very similar to the movement that we were doing with the tomato. Again, getting our knife, running it on the bottom, getting the full use. After we do this, I like to cut my avocados into little obliques. It just adds different character and texture into the dish. More of a visual effect. I think food should taste just as good as it looks, so let's have fun with this. And now that our garnishes are ready, it's time to start creating the ceviche marinade. See what I'm doing right now? I'm rolling my limes and lemons. What this is going to do is allow me to get more juice out of them when I juice them. I've also heard little tricks of putting them in a microwave for a moment, but I prefer to use a natural technique. So here we're just going to use the zest of about a quarter of this lime and roughly the same amount of the lemon. It really is amazing how much flavor that comes out of these, just even the zest. Now let's juice them. You don't need to worry about getting any seeds out of the limes because limes don't have any seeds in them. And the lemon, I like to use a juicer. And if a seed falls in it, just extract it. It's totally fine. Now I'll follow with the coconut milk and give it a little stir. Simple as this. Here we're just going to simply remove the flesh from the skin of our salmon. This salmon is actually amazing condition. It's fresh, local king salmon. I'm in California right now, so it's prime season for it also. Make sure your seafood's nice and fresh, especially when you're going to eat it raw. So to start slicing our fish sashimi style, I like to cut my fish against the grain, also from head to tail. See, from head to tail. Nice, thin, long slices, and lie it down. I'll give you a few demo slices on how to do it. There you are. Long slices. See how it's going against the grain? It's cutting right through it. It's not going with it. This is going to make it so much more tender when you eat it. There you are. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp as well. So after all of our salmon sliced up, just simply place it on a plate. This is going to be our seasoning plate and also our marinating plate. Giving the fish enough room to be spread apart so that our marinade will be able to soak in between and cook the seafood and just gain all that yummy flavor. And now it's very important to season our fish very, very, very aggressively. It's going to be placed in a ceviche liquid that's going to have no seasoning, so don't be shy in your seasoning. Now generously spread this all across our seafood. And we're just going to pop this in our fridge for about 20 minutes to cook. And using our reserved ceviche liquid, we're just going to add a little bit more flavor to it for the finalizing of the dish. Some more jalapenos, some of our diced tomatoes. Mix that up. And now you could season this a little bit if need be. Just a little bit. Everything seasoned in layers and balanced in flavor. And now the fun part, the plate up. So after about 20 minutes in a refrigerator, just marinating and cooking, let's just pull it out and start popping our fish on a plate. Wherever you like, just sporadic movements. You could go all on one side, you could spread it out. This is your plate for you to create. This is your masterpiece. So let's just have fun with it. This salmon just soaked up all that lemon and lime juice and that coconut flavor. Just putting me in the Caribbean mentally. Ready to go for this. Now we can just disperse our sauce all throughout the plate. The tomatoes and jalapenos, they give a really nice balance in color and contrast and heat and acidity. I think you're really going to enjoy this. Now some of our avocados, which have been cut on different obliques. See that different texture and visual? trying to have fun with our plating and enjoy what we're doing. Here we could come in with our shaved radishes. I took so much caution in slicing earlier. The circles actually add a nice little characteristic to it as well, the different visual effect to it, but it's also going to add nice flavor to it. And last but not least is going to be our fresh herbs. This is picked cilantro. Balanced very well with the coconut, jalapenos, avocados, radishes, tomatoes. It's going to be a very nice finishing touch to our dish. And with all this said and done, you know what it's time for? Time to dig in. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for it. Well, I hope you all really like this, hope you enjoy it, and I hope you tell me how you feel about this recipe and give me some feedback. Here's the recipe as following. If you do any changes, please let me know, and I'm really excited to hear how everything turned out. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.